Hey, everybody. Sorry about that opening. I got the wrong opening again. I don't know what's going on. This is not Friday Night Live. This is Hypno News
Hypno
Live.
News Live.
Right. I'm Jim Kellner. I'm out here in Seattle, Washington, and joining us from across the pond, our roving reporter this week, Grant Saunders.
Hey, how is everybody? How are you, Jim?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right, just about. It's been a weird one. It's been a Thailand, it's been a Singapore, it's been a Vietnam, and now it's a Yorkshire.
I hope you're grabbing some pudding while you're there.
Oh, absolutely! It's the only reason to come to Yorkshire is for the pudding.
You know, I don't know why that hasn't caught on here in the States. I mean, it seems like just the perfect food, really. And then you mix that with some roast meat and some vegetables. I am heaven. So our roving reporter is on the road right now. He's just coming back from a gig. That's right. We're both working hypnotists. We're not paying the bills yet with our with the Hypno News Live. We need some commercials, some sponsors, something. So if you've got some ideas, please do let us know. Hey, each week, Grant and I, we take a few moments to go live and to share with you all the information that is pertinent that we find. Here's the thing. If you're watching right now, please do comment below where you're listening from. And also, if you've got a training coming up, if you've got some news out there, if you've got a funny bit or some a pro tip you'd like to share, please do share it with us. Grant, you're back with us again.
Yes. Like I'm on the road, so the connection is terrible again. So yeah.
Well, so tell now the folks at home, they may not know this. You just mentioned you were out in Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, actually scouting a location for the Kellner and Saunders retreat next year. Can you tell us if you found a good spot for us? Oops, we lost him again. All right. Anyway, we'll be joining Grant when he joins us again. Grant, if you can hear me, just interrupt whenever. All right. If you're listening, please drop down a comment to let us know where you're listening from, who you are, any kind of questions you have about Hypno News. I am super excited because I just saw this right here. And let me see if I can share the screen. Hold on. If you're listening, I will tell you what I'm sharing. There he is. Grant Saunders.
I think I'm back again.
While you were on your working vacation, did you find a good spot for the 2024 Kellner and Saunders retreat?
Absolutely. Right on the beach in Koh Samui. Absolutely stunning location, private pool, perfect. A great place to really focus on kind of that mindset, that mastery without distractions in a stunning location. It's going to be amazing.
Fantastic. Now I know folks at home, you may have seen that we had one scheduled, and then we got scheduled at all the conferences that we applied to, and so so you careful what you wish for, right? So we decided to spend, because you only have so much social media space, right, and so much advertising dollars. We decided to set our focus on the conferences and then do the retreat next year.
Yeah, which I think is the right call for it as well. And being out there, checking out the location and everything, it's just like, I'm really excited for what we can offer in 2024.
Oh, awesome. I am so looking forward to it. Hey, we've got a couple of watchers, listeners right now. We've got Joe. He's out in Arizona. Joe, are you in the Southwest Hypnotist group? I don't know what part of Arizona you're in, but next time I'm in town, maybe you can we'll meet up for lunch or something. If you're nearby, I go down to Arizona quite a bit. Emily Jill, she's out in Toronto. Hello, Emily. We're actually going to be talking about Toronto in a bit. Come back to that. Grant, did you know that there is a Irish hypnosis conference going on soon?
I did not know this.
I
And
didn't either.
that's right next door to me. So
I would think, yes, I think maybe they've just now put it together. I don't know. I saw Jason O'Callahan posted it. Oh, there it is, sharing the screen right now. So if you're listening, if you're watching, you can see it. If you're listening, it's May 20th and 21st, 2023. I think Richard Barker may be involved in this too. I'm not sure. Yeah, looks like.
Yeah, I know Richard was over here or in Ireland doing a training quite recently. So that would be interesting.
And really, I mean, a great lineup here. We've got Freddie Jacqueline, Jason, Carl Smith.
Would it be a hypnosis conference without Carl Smith?
I mean, I don't think you're allowed to have one if it's
no.
if Carl's not there. So he gets around. He's a conference player. So yeah,
I think it's so important for people to do that. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to be at these conferences. You've got to be speaking at these events. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so you can sign up to join. So it's at I got to think this is something that they're just putting together, maybe kind of a last minute thing, or maybe they just got behind in the marketing. That happens because they don't even have the normal website, I don't think, for it. So I'm going to post it down in the comments. It's an Aweber, so it's from their email service is the landing page they're using. So let's put that down in the comments. Command V. All right. No, but would like to know a bit more about them. I wonder if Joe is talking about the Southwest Hypnotist Group. So Grant, what do you think about an Irish hypnosis conference?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, there's a lot of American hypnosis conferences. There's obviously the UK hypnosis conference, but I think Ireland. I don't think it's great if these conferences or seminars and workshops and retreats. It's all about location, and Ireland is a stunning part of the world. And so if you can mix a bit of travel along with some conferences and some workshops, I think it really makes a difference. You know, if you can set aside a couple of days either side of the conference to check out some of the amazing sites there as well, it makes it a really a great event to be involved in. And that's the same for, especially for you Americans coming over to the UK Hypnosis Conference, make sure you put in some extra time to visit the sites, to catch up with, people over here as well that aren't necessarily at the conference. But Ireland is, it's good for the crack, as they say.
Good for the crack. I don't think it means what it sounds like it means.
I'm pretty certain it doesn't mean that. But what a way to get people to a conference.
What a way to get right. So we're always learning new British slang.
Yeah, I believe it's spelled C-R-A-I-K.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's great too is they're far enough in between so that you've got because UK hypnosis conference isn't until something like what, October?
November, yeah.
November, yeah. So it's a nice long or nice distance in between the two of them. And of course, at the UK hypnosis conference, they're having Darren Brown this year. What a coup! Which
is amazing. What an absolute amazing resource to have as a speaker.
Yeah, right. It's CRAIC. Yes. So Joe, I did post the link. So if anybody, for those who don't know, a while back I created a bunch of hypnosis groups for each region of the United States and Canada. So in Toronto, I believe that would be the Northeast hypnosis group. Really just a way for us all to connect more. So it was selfish. Whenever I travel, I like to just check in to see who's in that area, maybe have lunch with them, something like that. Kind of nice to hang out with other hypnotists.
You've just had a hypnosis lunch thing, which they look really cool, these, and what a great way to informally get together and just network.
Really was. And the people that have just showed up for the first time were really pretty excited about it. we're different. We're weird, right? When we're hypnotists, the general public doesn't get it. Our family and friends, they don't really get what we do. And we all, I would say we all, but a lot of us have kind of a similar mindset, things like optimism, breaking through barriers, all that kind of stuff. So it's great to hang out together.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's I think sometimes it's so great to actually meet the people in person that you from Facebook. And it's good to have those discussions away from the online presence.
Yeah, absolutely. So, boy, and it's the price on the tickets over there for the Irish one is very reasonable. 135. Is that pounds, or does Ireland have a different system?
Yeah, Ireland is the euro, I believe. Depends which part of Ireland.
So great price.
Yeah, even in pounds, that's a great price.
Yeah. Even for us Americans that would have to pay more, with a great price. I wish I'd have known about it sooner. I would love to go to Ireland. My mom's dream was always to go to Ireland. She never made it.
Oh.
One of those things, Americans, boy, it's Native American or Irish. If they've got even just a drop in them, my mom always identified as Irish. So, even though she had about a drop in her, it's kind of a funny thing for Americans.
I must admit, from a few of the Americans that I've met, I'm sweeping over generalization, but exactly that, a little bit of Irish or Scottish. If there's a great grandfather's uncle's dog was Scottish, then they've got a Scottish accent.
Right. You got to love that.
So, I lost you again.
Oh, bummer. All right. Speaking of international conferences, and hey, Emily, this might be right up your alley, the Canadian Hypnosis Conference. Now, here's the thing. So the Canadian Hypnosis Conference is happening I believe it's happening in Toronto. Emily lived there for 5 years. Wonderful. 5 amazing years. I believe the Canadian Hypnosis Conference is happening in Toronto, Ontario. I'm going to be there. I've just submitted to speak. Now, here's the thing. Their website is down right now. Their the regular website, both of the organizers have had some challenges, and so they're going to get that website back up soon. But if you want to speak, if you want to be a speaker, the speaker application is up. I've just shared the link for that. So what a great opportunity to go and hang out. I just dropped the link down it's the Google Doc. I should have put what it was before I did that. And let me see if I can share that screen real quick. Can I? I don't know. Can I? Let's see. Yes. Share screen. I don't know. I don't think I need to share it. Never mind. I don't. Well, yeah, I guess I will. So if you're listening at home, this is just a speaker application. It's actually mine. I don't know why I pulled mine up. I hope it doesn't just pull mine up every time people go to sign up for it. I don't know. Anyway, if it does, you got my address and my information. So I did apply to speak. Hopefully I'll be speaking. If not, I plan to still be there. I believe that Tom Silver is actually, what is that about now? Oh, I don't know what that is. I seem to have joined a few times here. I believe Tom Silver he's keynoting that one as well. As you know, if you're paying attention to the Performing Hypnosis Summit, we just had about almost a month ago, Tom did a great keynote for that. He's doing the keynote for a Canadian Hypnosis Conference, I believe. And he might also be doing his scientific hypnosis training, but don't quote me on that. We'll all know more once they get the website back up and running. Let's see. So it looks like Grant dropped out again, unfortunately. And for Hypnosis News, I found this interesting article, and it's back from 2017, and it's about, let me keep forgetting to share the screen, folks. Sorry about that. Great question. Let me look here real quick. I believe it's in October, Emily. Let me check here. Looks like Grant's trying to message me. He's trying to get back in. And so he's looks like the signal's gone. He's going to drive home, grab himself a curry, and plant himself on the couch, I'm sure. That's what we like to do post-show. Let's see. Just want to make sure, Emily. I know you're a recent graduate of Hypnosis School, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, everybody, you know what? Get out there and go to conferences. You know what? Had been a hypnotist for years. I don't even remember how many years it was before I went to my first conference. Probably 8 years. And I just thought, what's the point? I wish I would have gone sooner. You learn so much, and you make so many great connections, and you have a blast. Really, I mean, it's so much fun to hang out with other awesome hypnotists. So it is October. Let me see here. October 14th and 15th of 2020. Oh, what happened? It went wrong. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, she found it. Good. Yes, October 13th to 15th. And actually, you know what's pretty cool too is I think the Mid-America Conference is happening. Wow, I think it's happening the weekend before that. So I plan to just spend the whole week out in that area of the world. Mid-America, of course, happens in Chicago. So yeah, definitely, Emily, check that out. Hopefully you can hit that conference. And of course, Heartland Hypnosis Conference coming at the end of this month. Highly, highly recommend that everybody attend that. And of course, Hypno Thoughts coming in July, the big baby of them all. If you're able to get out there, definitely do. Now, I am going to share the screen over here. Hold on. Just got a message from Grant. He is completely lost signal, unfortunately. So he will. It's a great thing about having a partnership. One person can miss and get it covered. No, I'm actually just going to share this screen. Hold on. Nope. Give me just a second. Share screen. Window. There it is. Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. Here's an interesting article. Can hypnotherapy cure binge eating? What do you guys think? Can hypnotherapy cure binge eating? Have you worked with clients with binge eating? I know we've got a few watchers, listeners. And hey, if you're watching this later, please do put your response down. We'd love to reply to that. Love to know what you're thinking. So there's a great article here. And there's one of the great things I thought about this, and there's a great kind of a quote in here. Are you seeing it? I can't. Yeah, you are seeing it, I think. So here so funny. Let me see. So sometimes you get the urge to eat, but actually it's not convenient, so we don't act on it. This is a quote. And apparently that's how we should eat too. But for me and many people, the trouble is eating is so damned enjoyable, unlike going to the loo. Oh, what's he say? He says, where did he say it? I can't remember where it's at now. I can't find it. Anyway, so that's how we should think about, I'm just blowing this completely. Raynor Jones tells me we should think about eating like we do about going to the toilet. We only go when we feel we need to, and sometimes the urge comes, but actually it's not convenient, so we don't act on it. So I guess that's great advice. But you can, but yes, of course, hypnotherapy can help with binge eating. It can help with just about any kind of a behavior, mental belief, that kind of a thing. There's Emily says, I believe it can. Haven't worked with clients yet. She's a newbie, but there is in general, there's a reason behind the binge eating that hypnosis can help with. You're absolutely spot on. There's generally some kind of a reason. I always tell my clients, Nobody gets significantly overweight just because cake tastes so damn good or food tastes so damn good. There's always something else going on. Sure, you might gain 15, 20 pounds or something, but there's usually something else causing you to binge. Maybe it's childhood trauma, maybe it's stress. Maybe there's all kinds of things that can cause it. Yes, Joe Baber says it can certainly help with binge eating. So it's a great article. I didn't put the link yet. Let me put that in there. So one of the reasons that we do this show is, of course, we want to inform the public about hypnosis. We also want to help other hypnotists to get the latest information on conferences and research and stuff. And here's a good thing. And so as a newbie, Emily, this is going to be a little tip for you. And I think for all of us hypnotists, sometimes we're a little bit uncomfortable, sharing on our social media or in an email blast or something. Hey, look, I'm the greatest hypnotist in the world. Come work with me. But you can certainly put an article that talks about hypnotherapy on your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, something like that. The idea here is that you're letting people you're getting information about hypnosis out there, but you're also kind of letting them know, look, I'm a hypnotist. Look at this. You could even put, as a hypnotist, I found this article to be spot on, or I disagreed with some of the points. So it's just kind of a low pressure, easy way to get information out there without actually having to say, come work with me, or I'm the greatest, or anything like that. So it's, if you think about content creation, curating content from other sources, such a great way to do it. So feel free to share those. All right. Now, if anybody has any kind of a pro tip or a funny story they'd like to share, you're welcome to put it in the comments. I'm happy to read it. You can also send it to us. Send it to either me or Grant. We would love to share it. Hey, we'll even bring you on the show if you want to come on and tell your funny story about, a hypnosis show or even a hypnotherapy client, something like that. Don't mention names. And then we're going to do a pro tip. All right. And your pro tips. So, pro tip for this week. And I may have said this before. I should keep a list of all of these things. As we're talking about conferences, I'm going to tell you right now that, there's something like, it says there's a quote that says something like 70 or 80% of success is just showing up. And I got to tell you, I think it might even be higher than that. Just showing up. So for instance, at a conference, just show up. At a local meetup, just show up. I have had so many incredible opportunities given to me simply because I was in the right place. Back when I was a comic, I got to open for, I can't remember his name now. He's the guy that makes all the noises. It was a big deal back then. It's been about 15, 20 years ago. He was the guy that made all the sounds in the police academy stories. The only reason I happened to be in the club that night, and they needed an MC. So they said, hey, do you want to MC? It's a great opportunity. I think that same night I got my first paid road gig because a headliner was there and said, hey, can you drive me around? The connections you make is gonna be huge. Like Grant and I, we're working on several projects together, and I'm still sharing the article. Going back to me. Grant and I are working on several projects together, and we met online, but then we kind of cemented that friendship in person. When we went to the Hypno Biz conference and then Heartland and so on and so forth. So it's like setting your intention when you show up, or when you show up to watch a show like this, when you show up to watch Hypnosis Hero tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. You're just showing up, and you will get so many opportunities. In fact, people that have oftentimes, I just ask somebody who's been watching the show, if they're a hypnotist, hey, you want to be on next week's episode? So I can't urge you enough to just show up. Just show up. All right. I'm going to make note of that one so I can start keeping track of what I share, what Grant and I share. Funny story. Well, it's kind of funny. It's a short story. I had a client one time. You know how we have these myths out there. People believe all kinds of stuff. One of the persistent myths is that you can get stuck in hypnosis. And there have been a couple of cases where that seemed to be the case. And so I'm thinking of one where, like, somebody who was fairly new as a stage hypnotist, was at a college or a high school, and some of the participants, they were stuck in hypnosis apparently. And they had to call the person's instructor, and they came out and got them back. And that might have been the reason that the UK has so many restrictions. I don't remember exactly, but it's malarkey. It's BS. You can't get stuck in hypnosis. What would typically happen is they might fall asleep if you couldn't rouse them. Which I got to think, if you shook somebody enough, you should be able to wake them up. But anyway, if they didn't, eventually they wake up, right? They wake up. You can't get stuck there. But the people are always worried about that. And then there's also some tricks that we do. And hopefully in your hypnosis training, if you become a stage hypnotist, I don't think you run into it as much as a hypnotherapist, but there are some things that we can do. One of them is whisper in their ear, if you don't come out of the hypnosis now, I'll make it so that you can never go this deep again. And so that oftentimes rouses people out of it. I've had some clients that were, you had to kind of shake them a little bit, but no big deal. Again, the worst that would happen is they fall asleep and they wake up. I was working with a client one time, and she was having great results. And she just sort of said in passing, she said, the hypnosis is working great. She goes, I listen every night. I listen to your recording every night, but I always, I tell my husband, make sure my husband knows that I'm listening, so that in about a half an hour, he can come wake me up so I don't get stuck in hypnosis. I thought it was the funniest thing. Here's a grown person who really thinks they can get stuck in hypnosis. If you could really get stuck in hypnosis, wouldn't there be lots of cases of this? Wouldn't we have headlines? Hundreds of people in hospitals around the world being kept on life support because they couldn't be brought out of hypnosis. The idea of it boggles the mind. Now, I will tell you, a friend of mine, Sean Summers, he actually did an episode of the Hypnosis Hero, if you look back in about November of last year, I think it was, where he demonstrated the great story, Jim. Can't remember. It's the induction. It's not the Elman induction. But it also starts Esdale induction. Now, if you're not familiar with the Esdale induction, go look it up. It's a good one. It's great for sleep too, because it'll take you deep. Now, I know we have different camps, different viewpoints in hypnosis. Is there depth of hypnosis? No, whatever. But it can take you to a place where, I don't know, deep is probably not the right word, but where those brain waves are going really slow or whatever. So he demonstrated he demonstrated on the Hypnosis Hero show, my show on YouTube, which you can watch. But he also demonstrated in person one time. That's why I had him on the show. And I got to tell you, if you're familiar with this induction, one of the things that they do is part of it will be, okay, now lift your leg up a little bit, your knee up or something. And he kept telling me over and over, and I would not do it. And I'll tell you why, because I felt so good. I felt so relaxed. I didn't want to be bothered. And that's what I was thinking. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. And there was a couple of other things. I think move your hand up or something. And I refused to do anything. So afterwards, he wasn't even sure that that the induction or that the hypnosis had worked. And it was all because I was not cooperative. And it took him a long time to bring me out. But it wasn't because I was stuck. It was because I didn't want to come back. I did not want to come back to reality because it felt so good. And with that, I'm going to close the show out. Ran a little bit long today. Sorry about that. We try to keep it to 20 minutes, but it's tough to do. If you enjoyed this, please share it. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, subscribe, like. Facebook, of course, you can do that as well. And tune in every Thursday where we do share conference talk, conference tips, hypnosis news and research, pro tips, and funny bits. Again, if you have funny bits, if you have any of that stuff that you want to share, you're an upcoming training, please, we'd love to share it with you. I will say, too, I don't have his website up. I just took Michael Brody's class. He's a stage hypnotist on teaching hypnosis in in the classroom in high school and college psychology classrooms. Great class. Check it out if you can. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the comments here. Michael Brody, hypnotist.com. $30. For $30, he'll teach you how to do that, and a lot of great tips. And with that, I'm Jim Kellner. Grant Saunders, of course, dropped off. He's on the road. We'll catch you next Thursday. Take care, be well, and of course, be awesome.